On and off, got Diego. Say hasta luego. We'll be in rapping kilo. Snub nose with potato. Take out. No monkey in the jungle, fly high like a sono.
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to a new video. Today is going to be my 2023 mock draft. My goals of the video are just to beat Brogan.
Ain't gonna happen.
And to get the Will Levis pick correctly. You'll see why. You'll see where I put him. If y'all haven't checked out the last episode, the second podcast, go check it out. Very good video. And I'm just going to let this clear. I didn't do any trades in my mock draft just because I feel like it's really hard to predict. So if I do pick someone by a team, they trade, but they do end up still picking him later on in the draft, I'm still going to count that towards myself. But let's get into the first pick. With the first overall pick, the Carolina Panthers are going to be selecting Bryce Young out of Alabama. I just feel he is the guy that's going to set this team straight. With the second overall pick, the Texans will be selecting Will Anderson, also out of Alabama, edge. I just see them not going quarterback here and selecting Will Anderson. All right, with the third pick, we got the Cardinals. They're going to be selecting Tyree Wilson, a edge out of Texas Tech. With the fourth overall pick, it is the Indianapolis Colts on the clock, and they're going to be taking C.J. Stroud off the board. Out of Ohio State, obviously, quarterback, and that's who I got them picking. With the fifth overall pick in the Seattle Seahawks, Jalen Carter is their pick. Georgia defensive tackle. The seventh overall pick, Raiders will be selecting Peter Skoronski. Don't know if I butchered that name. I'm sorry if I did, but he's an offensive guard out of Northwestern. With the eighth overall pick, the Atlanta Falcons will be selecting Bijan Robinson, running back, Texas. Yeah. With the ninth overall pick, the Bears will be selecting Paris Johnson, Ohio State offensive tackle. With the 10th overall pick, the Eagles will be selecting Christian Gonzalez, cornerback out of Oregon. Damn, my back hurts. With the 11th pick in the draft, the Titans will be selecting Anthony Richardson, quarterback out of Florida. With the 12th overall pick, the Texans are back on the clock, and they're going to be taking Will Levis, quarterback out of Kentucky. With the 13th overall pick, the Packers will be selecting Michael Mayer, tight end out of Notre Dame. With the 14th overall pick, the Patriots will be selecting Broderick Jones, offensive tackle out of Georgia. With the 15th overall pick, the Jets will be selecting Deshaun Jones, tackle out of Ohio State. With the 16th overall pick, the Commanders will be selecting Joey Porter Jr., cornerback out of Penn State. With the 17th overall pick, the Steelers are on the clock, and they're going to be taking Anton Harrison, offensive tackle out of Oklahoma. With the 18th overall pick, the Lions are back on the clock, and they're going to be selecting Hendon Hooker, quarterback out of Tennessee. With the 19th overall pick, the Buccaneers on the clock, and they're going to be selecting Brian Branch, safety out of Alabama. With the 20th overall pick, the Seahawks on the board, they're going to be taking Jackson Smith-Njigba, wide receiver out of Ohio State. With the 21st overall pick, the Chargers will be selecting Jalen Hyatt, wide receiver out of Tennessee. With the 22nd overall pick, the Ravens will be selecting Zay Flowers, wide receiver out of Boston College. Oh, dude. With the 23rd overall pick, the Minnesota Vikings will be selecting Emmanuel Forbes, cornerback out of Mississippi State. With the 24th overall pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars will be selecting Lucas Van Ness, edge out of Iowa. With the 25th overall pick, the New York Giants will be selecting Jordan Addison, wide receiver out of USC. With the 26th overall pick, the Dallas Cowboys will be selecting Nolan Smith, edge out of Georgia. With the 27th overall pick, Bills will be selecting Quentin Johnston, wide receiver out of TCU. With the 28th overall pick, the Bengals will be selecting Deonte Banks, cornerback out of Maryland. With the 29th overall pick, the New Orleans Saints will be selecting Myles Murphy, edge out of Clemson. With the 30th overall pick, the Philadelphia Eagles will be selecting Jahmyr Gibbs, running back out of Alabama. And with the final pick in the first round, the 31st pick, the reigning Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, will be selecting Darnell Wright, offensive tackle out of Tennessee. I hope y'all enjoyed my 2023 mock draft. I hope I beat Brogan, and I hope I get that Will Levis pick correctly. Don't forget, go check out the last video. Awesome video. And y'all will be seeing Brogan's mock draft soon. I'll see y'all later.